So now we are at the last portion of our subject PPS, and we are going to cover the last chapter, that is file management. Before going through the introduction of file management, I would like to tell you something, that every year students used to skip this chapter because they used to skip because they think that in GU exam there are very less questions which will be asked, right? But I highly recommend that whenever you are dealing in real life problems in companies, or sometimes if you are even learning Python kind of program, or even if you have enrolled for some kind of courses, say on Coursera or something, for the different programming language, you have to deal with files. So please don't take this chapter for granted. Try to understand the concept, because in real world you have to deal with files instead of just command line, right? So now we are going to start the introductory part of this chapter, that is file management. So let me first start with file. What exactly the file is, right? So basically we all know that file is a kind of space which is stored in secondary storage to hold the data. Now this file can have any extension based on its type. Suppose your file is an image file, then it may have .jpg extension, right? Now most of the time we used to deal with the text file, the doc file, the PDF, etc. In today's class, I am going to show you how to deal with .txt file. But at the same time, you can write a program for any kind of files. So basically, as you can see it over here, a file is a space in memory where data is stored. A mechanism of manipulating with the file is called file management. So how we can manipulate those files, that we are going to study in this chapter, right? Now, the importance of file management. What is the importance of file management? So basically, you cannot enter data in command line and get saved inside your device, right? Suppose to add two numbers, I am adding 2 and 10. So once the program execution stops, that data will be vanished. So you cannot recover that data. What if you want to handle the large amount of data? At that time, you have to create a file which will hold the data, right? So as the point suggests, in real world, real life situation works on large data. Handling this large data through the command line is really very tedious job. So entire data is lost when program is terminated, so all entries to be done again. File management helps in permanently storing data in hard disk, so that it can be read, write and updated whenever it is required. And that's why we are going to study file management. Now what about the introduction? If you want to access any file, you will need file pointer. So basically pointer is nothing but the variable which will hold the address of another variable. So the pointers which is storing the address of some file, that where this file is being stored in my device or in my memory is being stored in the pointer, so that it is called file pointer. So file pointer is nothing but the pointer which stores the address of particular file, right? So basically capital FILE, file data type, is used to create that pointer. Now where its definition resides? Its definition resides inside stdio.h header file. So whenever you are writing capital file, my computer will go through the definition which is defined in std, that is standard input output header file, right? So that is how it is getting the definition, and it will understand that yes, this is the file pointer to my appropriate file. Right, so this is how you can create a file pointer. You can see the last line which is showing you the syntax. Capital file is a data type and then star fp, which is nothing but the pointer. Right, so to obtain file pointer, this syntax can be used. This is all about the introduction. Now what kind of operation that can be performed on file? You have to open the file, and once your work is completed, you have to close the file. So opening the file and closing the file are two operations, and the third operation in which you can read the file, write the file, or update any file, right? So that these are mainly three operations in file management system. But there exist so many other functions as well, which is predefined in the system header files. So you can see the list of these functions, and this question used to be asked in GTU exam, in which they are asking you to list all the file management functions and explain any three of them, right, in more marks. Even they can ask you to explain fopen function or fclose function on syntax of that, and write a short note on them. So you have to know these functions. If I give you just short introduction about, then fopen is basically used to open the file, fclose is basically used to close the file, putc is basically used when you want to print some character inside your file, not on the command line. Make sure that you differentiate both of this stuff. Fputc is basically same as putc. Getc is basically used to read character from file. So suppose you want to read some particular character which is written in my text file, then at that time you can use fputc. Then getc is getc. So getc is basically used to read the character from file. Fgetc is same as getc. Fgets is basically to read the string from file. So for the previous question, the previous function was working with the characters. Now we are talking about the function which will work on strings. So get is basically used to read the strings from file, and fput is basically used to write the string inside the file, right? Now fseek. Basically, seek is used to get the position, some specified position inside your file. So suppose you want to start with the starting of the file, or suppose you want to start from current position or some particular position, or suppose you want to go through the end of the file. At that time you can use fseek. Ftel is basically used to know the current file position. So suppose you want to know the current file pointer's position inside the file. At that time you can use ftel. Fprintf and fscanf. Basically, these both functions are similar with printf and scanf, but it is basically used when you want to print some data from file to your command line, right? And if you want to take data from user and store it inside file, you can use fscanf. And EOF is nothing but the end of file. So return the true if end of file is reached. So these are some short description about these functions. Now we are going to explain some functions in detail. So first of all, I will start with file open. Basically, whenever you are dealing with any file, you first have to open that file. Now, how can you tell computer that this particular file you want to open? First of all, you have to create a pointer which will hold the address of that file. So how can I create the pointer? Capital file, space, percentage, and then fp. This is how you can create a pointer which can hold the address of file. Now, how can you tell the file? So file can be identified by its name, or the name along with its path. As you can see the example over here. Here I have given C drive path, that is C some folder some file.txt, right? So some file.txt can be accessed using the same path. So file name can be anything. You can give any name to my file. And then if you see that the second argument of this file open function is the mode. Now what exactly this mode is? Mode is nothing but the kind of permission, that if you are opening this file, what kind of permission you are having. Sometimes I don't want to give permission to user to edit the file. That means I don't want him to write the file, right? So at that time I can give just R. R means read-only permission. Suppose I want to give a user a permission to write. At that time I can write W. Similar kind of table I am going to show you in the next slides, where I will show you that how much different modes are available in C programming language. Here at the end of this slide I have shown that what is the syntax to opening a file. First of all, you have to create a file pointer, and then you have to use fopen function like this. Sometimes fp pointer contains null value. That means my file cannot be opened. That means it is having some kind of error. Some error occurs. So based on this, you can put this condition inside your program. You can just write it down this notes in order to understand fopen. Now here are the modes that I was talking about. There are different modes available, as you can see: R, W, R for read only file, W for write only file, A for appending a file. That means after whatever the correct value of file is, you are going to append the data. Then R plus, W plus and A plus is basically used to give read write permission to your user. So there are different modes available. You can just go through this mode. Basically we are going to use R and W in our program. We are not going to use rest of the modes, but if you want, you can just try it by yourself. Now, then after fclose. So once you open the file, it will not be automatically closed by the system. You have to explicitly tell your system to close the file. How can you tell my system? How can I tell my system to close the file? I can just use fclose function, which is already defined. You don't need to go through the definition of that function. You just have to pass pointer to which you want to close, to the file which you want to close. So here you can see the syntax that first you are opening the file and then fclose fp. That means whatever file is being pointed by pointer fp will be closed, right? So fclose function is used to close the file, and this is how you can use them. Now fgetC and fputC functions. Basically fgetC and fputC functions deal with the characters. We know that get is basically used to take value, right? So sometimes you want to take value from file, some character from file. So as you can see, getC function reads single character from a file. So suppose I am having a text file. In this file I have written "this is awesome." So that particular characters can be obtained using getC function. Similarly, putC is basically used to putC is basically used to print something. So sometimes if you want to print something inside your file, I'm not talking about the command line, I'm talking about inside the file. At that time you can use fputC function. So fputC function is used to write a single character into file, and fgetC function is basically used to read the single character from the file, and the syntax for fgetC and fputC is written over here, right? So we are going to perform the practicals as well, so don't worry if you don't remember the syntax right now. Just remember the syntax in terms of notes. If you are asked some kind of theoretical question based on file management, at that time you will need these notes. Otherwise we are going to perform 4 practical based on file management, which will cover all of these functions, right? Now here I have written a program. So we are going to execute this program as well, so don't worry if you don't understand right now. So in this program, if you run this program, you will get this kind of output. You can take this program as note or as an example for the lengthy question, right? Here another functions are that is getW and putW. Now you know that getC and putC is basically work with the characters in file. GetW and putW works with the integers. So it is used to read integers, not the characters. For characters we are already using getC and putC. So for integers we can use getW and putW functions. Syntax of getW and putW functions have been told over here. So basically its aim is same, but instead of dealing with characters, it is dealing with integers. Here is the program which will demonstrate how can you use getW and putW functions, right? So you can just go through this program, and if you are running this program, you will get this kind of output. Now fprintf and fscanf. Basically fprintf is similar with printf. Why do we use printf? We use printf when we want to print some value from system to my command line. Similar way, if you want to print some value from file to your command line argument, that is the black screen, at that time you can use fprintf, right? So basically the syntax of fprintf and printf is similar, but here in fprintf you have to add the reference of file, right? So first the file pointer will be added, and then you can write the value of variable a is %d, and then comma, and then you can write the variable that is a, right? So it is similar syntax. It is having similar syntax just as printf, but we are going to add the file reference because we are dealing with file, not with the system. Similar way, if you want to take value from user inside your command prompt and store it inside some variable in your system, you are using scanf. But fscanf is used when you want to take value from user and want to store that value inside your file. At that time, you can use fscanf. So basically, scanf and printf are having printf and fscanf are having similar syntax as printf and scanf respectively, but it is used to deals with file. So here you can by using printf and scanf or fprintf and fscanf, you can deal with any data type, that is integer, float, string, etc. Right. So this is all about the fscanf and fprintf. Here is the program which you need to understand in order to understand fprintf and fscanf. You can just note it down. We are going to perform these programs as well. So don't worry if you don't understand it right now. I am going to explain each program in a separate video. So we are going to perform 4 programs. So here there will be, we are just 4 videos away from completing this chapter or this syllabus. Right. So if you run this program, you will get an output like this. Now there is a function called as fseek function. So fseek function is basically used when I want to reset some kind of file pointer position. Sometimes I want that my file pointer should point at the beginning of the file. Sometimes I want that my file pointer should point at the end of the file. Sometimes I want that my file pointer should point at some current position. So based on these different cases, you can use fseek function. So basically, as you can see over here, the fseek function used to move file pointer to a desired location, used when one wants to access particular part of file. Right. So if you want to access beginning, or if you want to access the end of file, or if you want to access some particular current location of file. Syntax of fseek functions, you can see it over here. It includes the file pointer. First argument is file pointer, then long integer offset, and then position. Now what exactly the offset is? If offset is nothing but how much words away, you have to remember offset as how much words away. So if offset is 20 and I am specifying that 5 positions should be at the beginning, that means 20 words away from the beginning, right? So here write down, you can see the examples below. If you see the examples below, you will definitely understand the syntax. So you just not need to mug up the syntax. You can just understand the syntax, and in exam you can write by just understanding it. So basically there are 3 types of position. Seek set is basically used, it is denote starting of the file, or we can use value equal to 0. Then seek current, that is it denotes the file pointer's current position, and we can use value 1 for that. And last but not the least is seek and, which is basically used to point the file at the end, or we can use the value 2 for that. Right. So these are the different positions. Here I have also given definition of the offset and the position. Please go through that, and if you don't understand, you can ask me in comments. Now you can see the 3 examples that I have given. In first example, fseek is being used with fp. So first pointer is fp, that means I am talking about the file which is pointed by fp. Then after I have written 20 and fseek set, that means its value is 0. So from the beginning 20 words away. Second example is fp minus 10 seek current. That means backward 10 words from the current position of file pointer. And the third example is fp minus 5 seek end. So backward 5 words from the end of the file. So this is all about the fseek function. Now ftell function. What exactly the ftell function? It may happen that you don't know where exactly the file pointer is currently residing in your file. If you know the position of your file, you can use ftell function. So used to determine the position of file pointer in a file at particular moment of time. The syntax of that is given as long integer ftell file pointer. So we have declared file pointer stream over that. Stream is the pointer to a file object. So either I can use fp or stream, that is your choice. You can give any name that is desired by you. First byte is at position 0. So it will be starting with the first byte. The file's first byte will be at position 0 and till the end of the file. If the error occurs, -L is returned, right? So if there exists any error while calculating the position of file pointer, it will return you this value in order to tell that yes, there exists some error. You can see the syntax over here for ftell function. Right, and now the other function is the rewind function. Basically, if you want to set your pointer at the beginning of the file again, at that time we will use rewind function. Basically, we have heard this word rewind, right? So if you want to go again, you can use this one. So basically, while listening the music, you can rewind the music to listen it again. So similar concept is applicable for rewind function to set the file pointer at the beginning of the file. So for that, this syntax is being used. Used to set the file pointer to start of the file without closing and reopening the file. Right. So if you don't want to close the file and if you don't want to reopen the file, you can use this function. And here it's syntax you can see over here. So this is all about the file management system. Now we are going to perform some practical in order to understand these concepts and these functions. Practical implementation will always enhance your knowledge in file. Even if you have don't understand the theoretical part, please go to the practical part in order to understand the programs. So see you in the next class. If you have any doubt, comment below the comment section and ask me. I'll reply there. See you in the next class. Thank you so much.